There's been nothing more humbling for me than massive downswings. If you're like me or anybody else who has played enough poker, you might find it hard to maintain your sanity at times when going through one. Through the many years of just insane ups and downs, I remember the feeling like my entire self-worth was determined by my results in this game. There'd be times where weeks would pass and I just couldn't fathom the amounts that I've lost, and I wouldn't stop beating myself up over losing certain hands. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it since having real friends in this type of environment that I played in was rare for me. It was in those moments that I realized that it was on me to snap out of it and turn it around. I wanted to share what I've learned based on my years in the game and the type of mindset I've tried to adopt when dealing with them. When I first started playing poker, I remember reading this book by Dole Brunson. I can't remember the title now, but one of the biggest concepts in that book that really resonated with me was when he said that poker is a game of people. It's such a simplistic but powerful statement. What he meant was that the cards were just variables in the game, and ultimately, poker is still a game of people, not cards. The people play the cards, and the cards are just a tool. After I read that, I remember that light bulb just going on in my head and realizing that even though you're playing poker with all these different people, the game is really just a battle with yourself, your own mind. That realization really helped me make a shift in my mindset during downswings. I realized that when you're losing, it's not about the cards or the other players in the game. It's about what's going on with you. We can't control the action of the other players or affect how the cards come out, so we might as well not waste energy on that and only focus on what we can control, our thoughts and emotions when playing. I think the first step in dealing with the downswing is accepting that they're inevitable. You gotta be mentally prepared for when they happen, because when they do, life is gonna feel very unfair. It's gonna feel very personal and like it's only happening to you, but everybody loses regardless of what you may see on social media. We sometimes forget that losing is a very natural part of the game and lose sight of that basic logic when we're in a downswing. Because the cards have no memory of the outcomes of previous hands, being dealt a loser consecutively is bound to happen when you put in a lot of value. Now, how do you handle downswings? And how do you play through them? You should take a mental break from the game. Go do anything else except play poker. Stop the internal dialogue in your head, which is one of the things I've struggled the most with. That stream of negative thoughts after losing a hand. One thing that I've learned is that having sympathy for yourself over a game where everybody loses really serves no purpose. When you're blaming your losses on the dealer, the players, or bad luck, all you're really doing is convincing yourself that you're a victim. The cold hard truth is that your competitors don't care that you're losing, and nobody on the table is actually giving you sympathy. Save your breath when you're down and redirect your focus on fixing your mindset, which is really half the battle. I think what truly separates the winning player from the losing one is that player's persistence when they're in a downswing. I don't mean to keep going when you're exhausted and playing poorly, but I mean resting and coming back more mentally prepared to play through your losses. That leads to another point about playing through downswings, which is just being honest with yourself. Being honest about your mental state. For me, it's still a constant work in progress every time. A really bad habit I would have was not accepting to leave a loser. My ego just would not let me get out of that chair and call it a day. I would end up playing for days sometimes until the game was breaking, and eventually when the game broke, I would stay and challenge anyone that was still around to play heads up, even if I knew it was a bad decision. When it comes down to it, like anything else where there's no shortcuts, it's really just about the repetition. You have to repeatedly be put in situations where you're disappointed. Train your mind to start putting less weight on the failures and more on what there is to be learned from the situation. Eventually, you're gonna find a way to succeed if you just don't give up on trying to excel at something. Feel free to share your own experiences about these subjects. Leave a comment below with anything you want to add. Good luck and see you guys next time.